Hello and welcome back to the Yellow Dresser. I'm Natalie Michelle and today we are doing a book review. So I do book reviews on sewing books, fashion books, anything that has to do with fashion design. And I'm so excited because this is my first book review and I'll be doing it on the Pattern Making Primer. Now I love this book and I'm just about to tell you why. But before I do, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for my channel for more content for fashion design and sewing. Alright, so this book has a lot of wonderful aspects of it. I really love it, and if you're just beginning pattern making, this is an excellent book. Even if you have a little pattern making in your, or a little pattern making under your belt, this is still a great book to help refine all those skills that you need to become a really fabulous pattern maker. And the contents of this book, it's split into 4 categories. So we have the basics, drafting techniques, pattern development, and the pattern or the designer maker. So the basics, if you have experience sewing and experience kind of working with patterns, then the basics is really not for you. You won't really need it as much. It just really goes through tools you need, different pattern annotations and vocabulary that you might not be familiar with if you have never touched a sewing machine or seen a pattern before, which is really helpful, and which is why I really suggest this book for beginner pattern makers, because it does go over the very basics. The second chapter is drafting techniques. Now the drafting techniques here are more centered towards skirts. So if you're a guy and you like sewing, this book would probably not be for you, because most of the patterning techniques and drafting techniques are all centered around, well, all of them are centered around women. There's one section in the drafting techniques that goes over how you can turn how you can make a shorts or pants pattern, but they don't really go in much detail. So if you're really looking for a good tailoring pattern making book, this is not the book for this, or for that. Then it goes into pattern development. So once you really get the basics down of patterning, you can really start to expand your pattern making. You can really start adding different elements and aspects to your patterns to really make them unique and stand out among other patterns and garments. So the last chapter, it doesn't really cover a lot of pattern making. It really just covers more of the fashion design element and what really ensues when you're creating a fashion line, which is really a nice element of this book, and which is why I would recommend it to any beginner fashion designer, because it really goes into depth about what is a mood board, the design process, and things that really go into designing that a lot of people probably wouldn't realize that goes into designing. Another thing about this book is that there's a glossary in the back of it, so if you have no idea what a certain sewing term is, it tells you what everything is. And of course an index. I think the only complaint I would have about this book, and I have been using this book for a while now and I absolutely love it. I can't wait to get more pattern making books. The only complaint is that the section on the shorts and making a shorts pattern is very small. It's only 1 page, and I can show you that page. So this is the page, and actually what it is doing is you're turning a pencil skirt or a looser fitting skirt, not so loose that it like flops around when you move, but they're turning a skirt into a pair of shorts here, which in the description it actually gives you a romper that they're really referring this to, but you can really adapt this once you kind of get the basics down of that. So, but if you really want to be able to make shorts from scratch, you would need to find another book for that, because it is telling you how to convert another pattern. Unless you have a lot of background knowledge on sewing, you won't be able to formulate your own or draft your own pattern directly from this, because it is taking a skirt pattern you already have and turning it into a pair of shorts. However, this book actually goes over all of the different areas you need to measure yourself, and it's very detailed. It gives a description of all the little of all of the measurements that you need. It tells you the standard sizes for measurements, so they have small, medium, and large. And it gives you inches and centimeters, which is really nice. The only thing this book really doesn't have is how your fabric can affect your pattern, and I think that is a very important thing, so you would need to find another book on textiles or fabric, or you would just need to do your own research about what fabrics work best for different designs, different patterns, and different sort of stuff like that. The last thing I want to cover about this book is that it does actually go over seam finishes, which I think is a great thing, because sometimes when you're starting out you don't really know how to finish a seam or what even finishing a seam means, and this book covers different seam finishes you can do to help really make your patterns they go that extra mile and they look a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, and it really makes you feel more confident about your work, which as a beginner is very, very important. And I think another great beginner sewing tip is to use lining in your projects, because then it hides all the mess. You don't have to look at it, and it just makes you feel more confident about wearing your garment that you've made. So I'm so glad that you stuck with me through this video, and I'm so glad that you watched my first book review, and I cannot wait to do my next book review. I'm so glad you stuck with me through my first book review. If you have any tips that you would want to give me about reviewing books, or if you have any books that you do want me to review in the future, please leave them in the comments, contact me through my website, whatever works. I would love to hear your tips and suggestions. So please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content and all things fashion design and sewing. I'll see you guys next time.